Good evening and welcome to the Arboretum Live. Today I'm joined by Harriet, who looks after our houseplants.
There's no one here yet. Wait, 30 seconds.
You put this on, okay? Good evening and welcome to our Arboretum Instant Live. And today I'm joined by Harriet, who buys and looks after our houseplants. And together we're doing a workshop on houseplants and basically how to look after them and what best conditions they need to thrive. Now, Harriet.
Thanks, Eamonn. So here we have an Alocasia. Alocasias have become more and more popular because of their lovely distinctive leaves. Now, Alocasias come from Asia and Eastern Australia, which means that it needs a really warm, bright spot to thrive. They don't like any drought or a big dramatic change in temperature. So if you're going on holiday or away for a while, make sure you've got it in the warmest spot possible. A common question that we get asked about Alocasias, which actually go with all houseplants, are why are my leaves turning yellow? Yellow is a sign of water distress. So take a look at your soil. If it's underwatered, that means you need to up it that little bit. Saturated soil, discontinue watering for a bit and then continue on normal. You can cut the leaves off there, anything that's turned yellow, and that will direct the nutrients into the existing stems. Misting was brilliant with these plants for high humidity. You don't just have to mist with humidity, you can also put them on a tray of pebbles or bathrooms, which are great for all houseplants, I would say, with the humidity and condensation. One of my favourite plants here, which is very, very hardy, is the cast iron plant. So this guy can literally handle anything. It can be dry for a very long period, top him up when you can, bright light, low light. It's literally bulletproof. So it's a brilliant plant for beginners. It's got lovely foliage and don't confuse it with your Hoya palm there. So no, it's a lovely plant.
Some really striking plants. And after Christmas, we've taken down our Christmas decorations, so we have loads of rooms, so great fillers. And again, with all the houseplants, no matter what houseplants you have in the house, they filter the air, they give you oxygen to take out the CO2 and to take out toxins from the air. So brilliant plants. And that leads me nicely to this plant, recommended by NASA. Great plant for filtering the air, taking the toxins and loads of oxygen. It's called the Sanseviera, or better known as mother-in-law's tongue. As you can see, aptly named, lovely striking foliage, very easy to look after. There's a small one, and they are as tough as boots. Really, the best thing for these is neglect. If you give them, when you're watering, let them dry out. Don't have two people watering, otherwise you will kill the plant. A common problem with these is that people overwater, and if you overwater them, they'll literally just collapse. Now again, for all plants to thrive, the foliage needs to be nice and clean. It's something we're always asked. When do I pot on the plants? This question today, people ask is like, when do I pot the plants on? How do I know? And a good way to know is that when the pot starts to get full and it's breaking the pot open, and also then, if you're watering the plant and the water's not going into the plant, it's bouncing off, that means it's really getting pot bound. And a question again that came through today, when do we pot on our plants? Not this time of year, we wait until April to the growing season, and that's when we pot them on. But again, these are really tough. Another question came through today, when do I feed my houseplants? So we say from April onwards, when the days lengthen and the plants start to have longer days, so that they need feeding and watering. And feed, again, a very easy feed to use is a little Westland one here. You squeeze the bottle and put 5 mils and then put that to 1 litre of water. So very easy. Regarding watering, always make sure, a good tip, that the water is at room temperature. So you don't go to the cold tap and take your water out. So you have it left in the house, an old mineral bottle you can have for your watering can, and then so you don't want to plunge them into cold water. You wouldn't put your feet in cold water. So it's the same with the houseplant. So again, a great plant for a beginner, very easy. And often asked, can you get new plants? You can see this big plant here now. And you can see there's baby plants beginning to come out of the plant here. So I don't know if we can see that there. See the plants there? See the small ones coming from the side there? So that's the baby plant. And when you go get that plant, is in April, you can divide the plant and take off these lovely baby plants and you have an instant new plant. So again, so position. We're always asked, where do you put the plant? hot, sunny, dry. This is a sun-loving plant. You go to the Canary Islands, you'll see this growing outside. Dries, can be baked in the sun, very easy to look after. Another good plant then again, nice foliage plant, striped, is this one here. And it's called the Yucca. Now again, we have a range of ceramic planters, and the planters are online, and again, as Harriet said, we have new stock coming in every week, so the plants are being updated every week, and also the planters. So again, subject to pin, every terracotta ceramic planters, and again, what happens was, the question came through, Harriet, was drainage holes required?
Yes, yeah.
And again, we say drainage holes in the pot, you have your ceramic planter. What happens then, if you water from the top, it will drain through. We say in the summer, Harriet, kind of same school of thought, that we like to plunge. And we do the plunging in the summer, so you can plunge, drain, put it on your drain board, drain through. Now in a big plant, you can't do that. Smaller plants, you can easily do that. So for instance, you are watering this plant, make sure that you actually do a small amount. If you let the plant really dry and you put loads of water, it'll just run straight through. So again, small amount, come back in an hour, let it pick up the water. Alright, and again, make sure if you have a wooden floor, you have a saucer on it, or you have a ceramic cover so it won't go onto the floor. Again, people ask us, how often do you water the plants? That depends on the location and whether you have underfloor heating, whether it's in a south basin or a north basin. If you have this in a cold room, it's going to require very little water. Now, I was showing you the Yucca here. You can see this is a small one. And if you come around here, we can see this larger one here. Put this one down out the way there. So you can see there's three stems on this one. And Yuccas will tolerate drought, they will tolerate extreme heat, they're so easy to look after, a great plant for a beginner, and they will tolerate great for underfloor heating because they really would thrive on that. And with these, if they're not getting enough light, the plants will grow up and they start leaning. So that's a sign that you're not getting enough light. And again, with any houseplant, turn them every week, turn them 90 degrees, quarter way around, and so what happens then, the plant doesn't lean towards the light. So it's a good tip, turn them every week, give them a quarter turn if it's in the same place, and rotation is the thing. So keep them going, alright? So really two good plants for beginners. I'm going to pass you over there now.
No worries. While we're on the watering, I'll show you here the orchid, which I get asked a lot, the best way to water an orchid. So best way to watering an orchid there, a lot of people will just go straight on the top. They douse the leaves, all the roots on the top, which will be prone to fungal and mold disease on the leaves, which we really don't want to happen. It's such a beautiful plant. So what I like to use is a see-through glass bowl or jug as here. So to know when your orchid needs watering, have a look at the roots, pull it out of your ceramic pot. If the roots here are a silver colour, that means it's time to give your orchid water. Now, as you can see, the air plants there, air roots here are silver. That's absolutely fine. They should be silver, but it's the roots here in the soil that you want to make sure stay that lovely bold green colour. So when they are silver, get yourself some water, pour it into the jug, and pop your orchid in. Now, I would never go more than 10 minutes, and you should, by using a see-through jug or bowl, you'll see the roots change. So you'll be able to start seeing them turn a beautiful green colour. Now, where people have asked why should we, to keep them in a pot with holes, as you can see, you can get rid of all that excess water. You don't want them sat in water for a very long time, and especially orchids. So make sure you get all that water out. And then pop it on a windowsill, not direct sunlight, but on a bright windowsill there, and let the light get to it. Once it's all towards the end of the day or after a few hours, you can pop them back in your pot there. And then just keep checking till the roots turn silver to give him another water. So he's very good. And here with watering, another question we get with terrariums. Now, these are brilliant gifts, very popular. They are great for young kids' rooms, teenagers, for the office. They don't take up much room, so they're great. And they're so easy to care for. And it's not messy, which is great. So you want to make sure that you see condensation on the glass. As you can see, there isn't any. This is telling me that he wants a little bit more water in there, which is quite easy. Take the lid off, pop the water in, return the lid. If I was to come back in a few days and the whole glass is covered in condensation, that's a bit too much for him. So I take off the lid, air him for a couple of hours, and replace it. But like I say, perfect for kids, perfect for people getting into plants there. And we also do DIY ones, so you can build your own one, which is great fun, all ages, and we sell lots of small plants there, so you can come and pick any plants that you want to go in. So that's my one.
Yeah, I just find on the orchids there, Harry, is that they're so easy to look after. People always confuse and say because they look so exotic that they're hard to look after, but they're not.
Yeah.
You can prove that they're really easy. And just another tip that people often ask is, when do I prune them back? So what do you say about when they finish flowering?
So I would prune them back to the last two buds, and they are, I don't know if you can see. So you see these markings here. What you would want to do is go to either the second one or the first one, depending on the flowering. So I would probably go to the second one on there, just trimming back, and here come through. A lot of people think when they lose the flowers,
Yeah,
that's the end, and it's
plant.
not. All plants will reflower there.
So that's great tips, Harry, on that. So next one I'm going to do then is some nice easy one. The kids love cactus or cacti, whichever you want to say. The plural is cactus, cacti or cactus, you're not wrong, whichever you use. Kids love them, but they always touch them and end up with little needles on, but it's the colours attract them, and they're kind of exotic, weird looking. Very easy plants to look after. The key thing is that from October onwards, give them very little water. These are often grown in deserts, so they can take extreme 40+ degrees and they get minus temperatures during the night. So if you want to keep them in a cold room, you often get those porches where there's no heating, or a conservatory where there's no heating. These will survive in the winter, providing you keep them on the dry side. So again, very easy. And by resting them from October, they initiate the flower buds. The number one question they're always asked, say, why is my cactus not flowering? And it's usually that central heated houses, they're too warm, so they don't get that resting period to make them flower. So again, keep them cool in the winter and they'll initiate flower buds then again. Here's a real easy plant. And when I say easy, you can forget this plant. I had one of these babies given to me when I was 16. It'll be 40 years old next year. And I neglected, I forget about him. And I've learned over the years, if I forget to water for months, it'll put little aerial roots out. And then you know you forgot to water. And you say, Eamonn, we need to water that plant. So it talks to you, it tells you when it needs water. And what can happen, you get little baby plants. If it has little roots, you can actually break that little plant off with the little roots, put it in a mix of compost, vermiculite, and that will root. And the compost needs to be on the dry side. They are so easy and very long lived. As I said, mine is headed 40 years old, so very tough and very easy to look after. And again, use a cactus mix. For any of these, you have a pre-prepared compost which you can use, especially formulated again, so it's free draining. You can do your own, but it's nice to get the perfection mix, alright? Now again, this here now is a lovely variegated version. I just saw the ceramic pot, I thought it was very unusual. It's like an egg or something, very space-like. And again, lovely variegated of the foliage there. So this is a variegated one. And we always say, when you have variegated plants, they need a lot more light. So if you have a green plant, it needs less light than, say, a variegated. So again, a nice bright window. What I tend to do with mine, every summer I give them a holiday. Bring them out in June, not on a hot day so they don't get sunburned. I've learned over the years, I forget, bring it out on a hot day, the sun comes out, you will scorch the tops of the leaves. Don't panic, pinch them out and it'll all reshoot again. So really easy, and it's a lovely, easy plant to look after. Now I have another easy, talking of easy plants again. We were asked the question, wasn't Harry, regarding the spider, the spider plant. And brown tips on the end. Usually brown tips on the end of a plant is that the air is dry. So the tips is the first thing, or you're underwatering the plant again. So make sure that you're looking at your watering conditions. And again, we have the mist. The mist is great because look, just do that. And you can do that a few times during the week. And again, make sure you have nice soft water, because if you have lime water, what will happen? It'll actually calcification you'll see on the leaves, so you'll feel it on the leaves. So again, if you can get rainwater, perfect. And again, the mists are great because you can use them. Say you have that plant there, you can use the water. This was done from mother-in-law's son. So you're washing the plant down. You can get a sponge then if you like, and just wipe the plant down. Now again, if you can't get in the plant, just use the mister, and that will clean the plant down. So it makes it very easy. Alright? And the misters, I think the tools you should always have is a nice little watering can and a mister, and you can't go around then. Alright? Now I'm going to show you another one, is the Dracaena, or the dragon tree. So these come, you get them in little stems. This is a small little stem here now. And again, you can see a lovely little beautiful ceramic pot. Ideal, again, kids love these because it's small and compact. You can put them in the bedroom. Now with these plants again, turn them around. Turn them every week, give them a little turn. If you don't, what will happen? They will grow towards the light. And it's very important, especially on the larger ones. Now I've got a beautiful one here. This is amazing colour. Remember seeing this Harry you've got it in, I said, wow, I said, I haven't seen one this colour. So I was just saying to Harry, it's just really, the colours are just so vibrant. Normally you see the greens and the purple, this is really just standing out. The only things that can go wrong with these is that people underwater them or overwater them. If you underwater, the lower leaves will go brown. Again, it's not the end of them, just pull them off. And if you overwater them, the stems will collapse. So again, if in doubt, underwater. But again, these stems will continue growing up and just pull off the lower leaves as they mature then, and the stems will grow. So turn the plant around, very important. Often people bring plants and they say, what's wrong with it? The plant will be leaning over, and then you say, it didn't get enough light, or you want rotating the plant. But I think that's striking foliage, isn't it, that one?
It's lovely.
Now I'll pass you over to Harriet there again.
So we have a lot of people that come in and they look for your Swiss cheese plant. So as you can see from the leaves, this is your Swiss cheese plant there. Now with it, the plant here, because of the large leaves, it doesn't need a bright room. A lot of people think, oh, he needs a real bright room. He doesn't. There's so much leaves there that he's absolutely fine in a bit of a shadier spot. We also get asked about the roots here that come out. That's fine. All you have to do is redirect them back into the pot. You don't need to cut them off. It's just the way they just sprout them. I think it gives it a lovely jungle sort of feel there. But redirect them into the soil with him. But if you definitely got the room, he's a great plant to have. It gives you that jungly, foresty feel there. I have several of them because they really fill up an empty space. These guys here, we have a mixture of Peperomias and Hoyas. These are very easy care. Again, they're nice because they're small. You have two here, the variegated leaves, which means you're going to need a brighter room, like Eamonn said earlier. We have some here that are just green, so we'll do fine in a more shadier spot. As you can see, because of the waxy leaves, it retains more water, so they will handle a bit more less watering there, but not for a long period of time. It's like your money plants and your succulent cacti. But they've got lovely big surface leaves there, and they're just, I think they're lovely.
I think it's a really glossy foliage, and they really are in vogue now.
Yeah.
We've had so many people look at them again, they're just amazing. And as you say, they're a really tough, waxy leaf, so they're really different. So
yeah.
Beautiful plants.
But if you're looking for something with flowering, we have a few here. This is my favourite at the moment. It's the Jasmine. So it's got a bit of a crazy look to it. But it is easy care. You just have to remember that it is a flowering plant, which means it's going to want a bit of a brighter spot, and you mustn't let it dry out. It will need more watering. You'll find it dry out a lot more as he's flowering. A lot of people ask that they can't smell anything. They will not smell if it's cold. If they're warm, you'll get that beautiful scent. So at the moment, I can't really smell much. It's a bit chilly in here, but later on in the spring, summer, you'll get that beautiful scent there coming off them. They're very popular. We have them in hanging, smaller pots, and we've got some coming in the beautiful climbers there on bamboo. So if you've got the space, they're definitely worth having.
Yeah, they're really nice. And as Harry says, when you have the heat of the house and the flower opens up, that the smell is attracted into it. So it only happens when it's in a warm room. So again, put them into a warm room, and you'll really get that aroma from the flowers. So beautiful plants. Now I'm going to show you two plants what I say talk to you, because they tell you when they need water, and that's what you want. Great for beginners. I think one of the questions, Harry, was devil's ivy.
How to make it grow faster.
How to make it grow faster. And with any plant, to make it grow, it needs three things: light, heat, and food, like ourselves. And if you don't have one of those missing, it's not going to grow. So again, if you give all this the food and the heat this time of year, it's not going to grow any faster because we don't have the light levels. So it's very important from April onwards that you give it optimum feed, and you give it the correct amount of water, and it'll be perfect there. All right. So again, as we say, when it needs water, it will actually droop, and then when you pop the water onto it, then it will perk back up again. Now this one is the Spathiphyllum or the peace lily. Now, a really easy plant. Everyone comes in and wants the peace lily. Oh, how do we look after it? And he said, look, it's easy. When it needs water, it will droop. And then give it water, half an hour later, and it'll pop back up again. Now this is a large specimen here. We have smaller sizes in stock, so again, you can get whichever one you want in that, all right? Now another one I'm going to do is Tradescantia here. It's a beautiful plant. Now again, back to what Harry was saying then, this one here, what do you call it, is a variegated one. We also have it in the variegated here, and we also have just the green here in this one. Alright, so again, very easy to grow. You can let them dry out between watering, and very easy to propagate. Now again, if you want to propagate these, they're so easy. Just take a piece off like that, and it's just broken off at a node, pop it into water, and you put roots out, or you can put it into compost and it will self-root again. So really very easy. So the easiest one for low light, we go this one here, and then this one here for kind of a little bit brighter, and then for a really bright situation, go for this really variegated one. So again, putting the plant in the right place.
We actually just had a question there, Eamonn,
Yeah.
on the Anthuriums there, the flamingo plants.
Flamingo flower.
So best care for them
Yeah.
and feeding.
And feeding again, as you said to me, like they flower for 90 days. So
9 months.
9 months, I should say.
Yeah,
so
9
they're
months.
9 months. And that was an interesting thing you were saying today regarding how long they flower for.
So it's also known as the pregnancy plant. They're great plants, so if someone's just found out they're having a baby, it's a great gift idea as it lasts 9 months. It should flower for the whole of the pregnancy for them, which is a fun fact.
Exactly. Now again, back to the feed. For all these plants, easiest feed, I'd say every 2 weeks from the growing season. Say from April onwards, feed them every 2 weeks. And if you have a central heated house all winter round, and you have lots of underfloor heating, the plants are grown, then you could feed once a month. But again, don't go any more than that. We said tend to cut the feed down. Things that can go wrong with the flamingo plants again is that they can go brown on the tips, the air is too dry. If you again, as what Harriet said, if you overwater, the leaves will go yellow. And if you see brown lesions in the middle of the leaves, that's a sign then again that you're overwatering. And again with any plant, if the room is warm, you give it more water, and if the room is cold, you give it less water. The worst thing you can have in any plant is that it's wet and cold, and that's the easiest way to kill most houseplants. They're cold root zone and wet, and they don't like that.
I don't like being wet and cold.
Exactly, so it's the same thing.
So the last one that I'm going to talk about is the air plants here. A lot of people are looking for them. They're great little plants, great for less room, gift ideas, have them in a classroom, on your teacher's desk. So, and there's all different ways of displaying them. You can get hanging glass balls or a tray sat on your desk. They're so easy to care for. It's got lovely red on that one. Now, with the air plants, even though it's called an air plant, it will still need some nutrients and water there. So this week on our next delivery, we'll be getting our air plant mist. So we'll be going online as soon as it comes into store, and you'll just be misting on them. I think it's about once a week of them to keep them thriving. And you can have them in a direct sunlight, a bright spot, a shadier spot. But there's so many different ones on there, and again, they will be going online as well and available to purchase with us.
Now, we'll have another couple of plants here now. And this one here is a favourite of mine. It's Schefflera, better known as the umbrella plant, and you can see by why it's called the umbrella plant. A really easy plant. And actually, what will happen over time, this plant, you can start off small, it will grow as high as the ceiling, but you can cut it to whatever size you want, and it will actually become a woody plant. And if it gets woody in the lower leaves, you want to rejuvenate it, you can cut it just above a pair of leaves and it will re-sprout. And also what you can do, you can layer the top. If you want to have a new plant, you can aerate the plant. That's another day's work, we won't go into that now, but you can actually get a new plant from a cutting from this plant. So very easy, very tough. It's got a waxy leaf, so again, it's tough. Now again, you get them in variegated in white, lovely yellows. So again, keep the green for the more shady and keep the variegated for the bright position. But it's very tolerant to abuse, in other words, not being looked after. So I've seen them come in and they can be 20 years old and they have been potted and it will survive. So it's a really tough plant. Another one here then is the Ficus Elastico, or the rubber plant, better known as here. Now again, they are easy, provided one thing: they don't like drafts, okay, and they don't like their toes wet. So you don't want to have them cold. If you go to the Canary Islands again, you'll see these growing on the paths. They're growing as full-size trees, and they're cutting down with chainsaws, and they sprout up lovely. So again, hot, sunny again. So again, they come in greens, all different shades. You can see the beautiful large leaves then again. So they're really dramatic. So the key thing with them is don't have them wet and cold. So it's nice, bright and sunny, and let them dry between watering. If you have gas central heated again, the old years ago with fumes and from gas and things like that, they don't like that. So if you have gas cylinder fires and things like that, keep them away from that. They don't like it. Is there any questions Harriet, that we haven't covered in our...
There are some here.
Yeah.
There's just someone here who's had 2 stringer pearls and killed both of them. Where is she going wrong, and what is the best general care for them?
Okay, stringer pearls, basically little round, hence the name stringer pearls, like rosary beads, and the little round baubles, you could say, and they're succulent. So again, they have their moisture in the leaves. So again, the easiest way to kill them is cold and wet. So treat them like a succulent cactus, like free draining compost, nice, bright and sunny position, because you see that kind of grey tinge to the foliage, so a nice, bright, sunny aspect, and water them sparingly. Okay, so that's the key thing for those. And you go wrong is usually that they're cold and overwatered. Any other questions?
There's one more here, and it's to do with the banana plant pear.
Okay, the mousses, yeah?
Yeah, so the leaves have gone brown, which they cut off. The watering seems to be going straight through, and it sits in the bottom of the pot.
Ooh, that's a no-no. Water sitting in the bottom of a plant. That's basically like putting yourself in a basin of cold water, your feet in. You're not going to like it. So again, tropical plants, the leaves going brown. Mousses can be different colours, that the turn shades of brown. You can get reds and browns. But if it's dry and brown, is that what you call is drying out. But what can happen as well, if the plant is being allowed to dry out, the water is just is not able to soak in. So it might, one best thing, as Harry said, you plunge that plant and then let it dry, because if the water is running through, it could come away from the side of the pot, shrinking, and then it's just running through. But the worst thing you can have to do then is sit in the bottom of the pot into water, because that gets cold and it's not going to be happy with its feet in cold water. So they like the heat. Okay, so that's the key thing. Nice bright. Now, anything else there? Questions? Any more questions come through? Okay then. Okay, I hope you enjoyed our little short talk on houseplants, and thank you for tuning in. Thank you.